Avondale shipyard in New Orleans, 200 miles upriver to a spot 40 miles south of Vidalia. And the journey will take about 4 days. About 75 onlookers cheered from the dock while a handful of escorts waved from atop the mammoth power plant, which is 12 stories high, 450 weighs 25,000 tons. Officials say Louisiana's first hydroelectric plant should be fully operational by July the 1st of 1990.
Those watching said it looked like a giant box on a barge as the Merrimac began its slow 208-mile journey up the Mississippi River today from New Orleans to Vidalia. The world's largest prefabricated floating power plant, 12 stories high, 456 feet long and weighing 25,000 tons, will divert water from the Mississippi River through 8 giant turbines once it's in place. Pushed and pulled by a fleet of 6 tugboats and escorted by the Coast Guard, the Merrimac will creep upriver at 2 to 4 miles an hour. The old Mississippi River Bridge is expected to be the major obstacle. Built in 1941, the bridge is just too low for the tall structure, so the plant must be partially submerged as it passes underneath.
Slowly up the Mississippi River. It's a 12-story tall hydroelectric plant. It left New Orleans yesterday. It's being towed to Vidalia, where it will power the medium-sized town. It's the first such electrical generating plant in the state. The Merrimac, it's called. It will, of course, use the power of the Mississippi River to generate its electricity. When it comes through Baton Rouge, sometime late this afternoon, it will have to be partially submerged to make it under the old Mississippi River Bridge. And that should be a sight to see. I think around 4 o'clock this afternoon it should be coming through, but there's going to be a pretty big window there because it's only moving about 2 to 4 miles per hour. So
well, we've been getting a lot of phone calls here at the station. People are curious to see it, of course.
I think around 4 or 5 this afternoon, maybe downtown on the levee, hopefully there might be a glimpse. I can't, like I say, it's moving so slowly and there's so many tangibles there. But late this afternoon, it should move through here. We're going to cover it. We'll have pictures at 5 o'clock.
You said so many tangibles. That sounds a lot like the weather forecast.
So many tangerines, yeah.
There's a good chance that when that power plant passes through, that it'll get rained on.
It takes 10 hours to move it under the old bridge, so I think we have plenty of time to see it.
Well, that great big thing, the Merrimac, is between Plaquemine and Baton Rouge right now. The gigantic floating power plant should make the capital city by nightfall. The 12-story high structure cost $550 million to build.
It's being floated all the way to Vidalia, where it will generate electricity. This floating monster will be partially sunk in Baton Rouge to squeeze under the old Mississippi River Bridge. The Merrimac is drawing quite a crowd along the riverbanks.
This is something that's once in a lifetime to see. I imagine it's, you'll never see nothing like this again pass around Plaquemine. It's just something to see.
Nightfall in Baton Rouge. This power plant will become the only hydroelectric plant in Louisiana with river currents being harnessed.
So we're guessing it'll be...
And here we go with Miss Robin and Miss Corman and the Designs gang. There's Daniel. We're all waiting for Paul. Can I have a smile here from somebody? And I think it's just about to come around the bend right now. I got a glimpse of the Coast Guard cutter. So we're just going to wait a little while till it gets here. We're here at the Luling Ferry Landing. It's 11:45. The Merrimac is just coming around the bend of the river. Gathered quite a crowd. This is the sign we made for Paul. Let's pull it out a little bit. Go, Paul, go! Hard to believe they've thing's going to fit under that bridge. But Paul said it would.
Don't make them fall.
Oh, yeah, I know. Norman's real mean.
Which one they going on? This side or that side? Dana said the bridge is going to go up, Mom.
He says they could put the bridge up.
The bridge is going to break.
Now, 12:45.
The bridge is going to break. Why? Come on, the bridge gonna break.
Oh, no, the bridge isn't going to break. Papa says that thing's going to pass under there with no trouble at all. And you know Papa's always right. Right?
We got it, Jared.
So next thing it looks like half the bridge is going to go with it. Would that be something?
Dana Michael, on this side, son.
Just look in marble. Got a few of them. Interested little kitties here. There it goes. To stop to think it. I knew it. There goes the battery light.
Got the other one, huh?
Yeah.
Out of the water.
Don't see much freeboard between the top of that Merrimac and the bottom of that bridge.
Nobody can hear me?
Bon voyage to the Merrimac.
Braxton caught up with the Merrimac downriver, and she's here now with the latest.
That's right. The latest word has the Merrimac in Baton Rouge near the USS Kidd at about 11:10 in just over an hour. It will then proceed upriver to the old Mississippi River Bridge, and in order to get under the structure, the crew will have to sink the plant about 40 feet beneath the water. The entire process is expected to take about 12 hours, and they're going to be doing it tonight. The Merrimac started on its journey Tuesday from New Orleans. It's traveling up the Mississippi River at a speed of just 3 miles an hour. It's the world's largest prefabricated floating power plant. It's 12 stories tall and wider than a 12-lane freeway. In Baton Rouge, the curious line the banks of the Mississippi for a glimpse of the Merrimac.
I've never seen a hydroelectric plant before, and they said it's going to be pretty neat.
What'd you think?
It's weird. I like it a lot.
That's something that you'll never see again. I mean, that's what we wanted to see.
When it completes its 208-mile journey, it will be permanently docked near Avondale, Louisiana. The Merrimac's huge turbines will generate enough power to light a city of 200,000. But officials say Avondale will use only about 10% of that energy. The rest will be bought by power companies for distribution in other areas. The floating power station was the idea of former Vidalia Mayor Sidney Murray. He wanted hydroelectric power for his city, and by Friday or Saturday, the citizens of Vidalia will see the Merrimac finally pull into view. And Newsline has live cameras set up along the Mississippi River, and as soon as the Merrimac is visible to us, hopefully we will be showing it to you two during an update later in the newscast.
That thing is really lighted up. It's going to stand out. Welcome to the power plant, Pete.
Thank you, George.
The Mississippi River, just over from LSU here in Baton Rouge. The hydroelectric power plant is moving up the river from the Avondale shipyard in New Orleans to Vidalia. It will be sunk about 40 feet when it reaches the old Mississippi River Bridge around midnight tonight because the Merrimac is too tall to pass under the bridge. Once the power plant clears the bridge, the water will be pumped out of its hull and it will continue its journey up the Mississippi. The vessel is expected to take another 2 days to reach its final destination again. That's Avondale, Louisiana. The plant is expected to be fully operational in 1990.
Of one twister was captured as it crossed the Mississippi River. The footage was shot from a Coast Guard vessel running interference for the Merrimac power plant. Watch the twister as it takes its toll on 2 chemical companies in Baton Rouge. The fierce funnel snapped power lines and caused huge balls of fire. Stauffer and LaRoche chemicals near the old bridge are still without power, according to a Stauffer spokesman. Plant manager Jack Olton says they will resume production once the electricity is restored. The Merrimac, meanwhile, continued its voyage upriver after suffering some minor damage.
Minutes after the hour, Pat's been with you all morning. He continues to be with you this afternoon. The latest in the weather situation.
But I won't be with you on the night desk. We'll be back for that. Let's set this video up. Once again, Sharon McBride and Gid Whitaker. Gid was working with the United States Army Corps of Engineers. They were doing some dredging over and above the old Mississippi River Bridge. At about 6:30 this morning, they were continuing to watch the Merrimac, which is that new power facility that's coming down, being transferred upriver. As they were watching that, here's the video that they picked up, and we're going to explain to you exactly what is happening. What you're seeing there is convergence aloft, divergence on the surface. The convergence is, it's sucking up all that warm, hot air off of the Earth's surface, driving it up into the top of that cumulonimbus cloud. Also, you're beginning to see those little funnels form there. The funnels, as they are called aloft, or tubes at times, continue to generate and pick up momentum, mainly from the debris that's being pulled up inside that storm. They also get their configuration and their color from the debris that they are picking up. Now, at this particular time, we actually have a tornado because here it is, hitting the ground and continuing to create problems. Those sparks and those flares you're seeing there, those bursts, what we assume is a tornado hitting probably some power facilities in that area close to the Mississippi River Bridge. So here again, there's another one. You'll see another one coming up again. But this is a very classic configuration of a very severe storm. We think that there were 3 or 4 tornadoes that erupted from this system through the course of the morning. It touched down in approximately 19 areas. here it is, continuing to move. We suspect it is moving at this point approximately 25, 35 miles per hour with winds inside there, possibly in excess of 140 miles per hour. So a very, very dangerous situation earlier this morning. And here again, we'll show you it in actual time. That was slowed up. There again, you see the funnels forming. You also see, again, a massive buildup of that system as it continued to move off right near the old Mississippi River Bridge. And again, to those good people, Sharon McBride and Gid Whitaker, you don't know how much that helps us in being able to evaluate storms such as this, and also the possibility of being able to save life and property for storms such as this into the future. Let's take
This morning, boat crews and passersby along the Mississippi riverbanks in Baton Rouge saw a sight they'll never forget. At about 6:30 this morning, one of many local tornadoes touched down near the old Mississippi River Bridge as it cut a disastrous path along the east bank. A wall of clouds and then a funnel cut a chaotic path down the Baton Rouge side of the Mississippi River just after dawn today near the old bridge. These pictures taken by Sharon McBride show just how powerful and frightening a tornado can be. Gid Whitaker of the Army Corps of Engineers was with McBride when the storm roared through.
When I got up there, it was right there on the Port Allen side on the west bank of the river, and it was whooping around and it looked like it's tearing up the world.
Whitaker and other Corps members spent the past couple of days waiting on the arrival of the Merrimac, a one-of-a-kind floating hydroelectric power station traveling up the river towards Vidalia. This morning, the Merrimac made its way past Baton Rouge just as the tornado winds picked up here, and Whitaker saw it all.
It seemed like almost immediately it went over to that Merrimac, and it hit it broadside. And thought that thing was going to sink, but they had like 40-something feet of ballast they had pumped down so that they could clear the bridge. And that's the only reason why I think it's still here.
Whitaker says the funnel clouds hit the Merrimac for only a couple of seconds and then bounced back onto the Baton Rouge shore, knocked out power lines in a brilliant display, and sent debris skyward. Although the whole thing lasted only a few minutes, Whitaker says it's a sight he'll never forget.
At first, when it first hit it, I thought, well, my Lord, that thing's gone now.
And John, the Merrimac sustained only superficial damage, but it's been delayed by about 6 or 7 hours in its trek to Vidalia. Should get there late Friday or early Saturday morning.
Whitaker will dream about that one.
He probably will.
At the beginning of our newscast, we showed you the tremendous fury of the tornado that ripped across Stauffer Chemical on the west bank of the Mississippi River.
Denny Brand has a report now on the story behind those scenes.
One fierce funnel spun a path of destruction from Port Allen to North Baton Rouge. The twister moved across the Mississippi River, striking the Merrimac power plant near the old 190 bridge this morning. It then headed to Stauffer Chemical and LaRoche Chemicals on the east bank. The dramatic pictures were captured by Brad Lancaster of Fort Tablada Engineers of Baton Rouge with a home video camera. It was shot from a Coast Guard vessel in the river. See the twister as it strikes Stauffer. Watch the power lines as they light up when the storm rips them up. And then a big fireball erupts. Stauffer sustained a lot of broken glass and power outages, but the plant will be able to operate once the power is restored. Stauffer manager Jack Olton says there were minor injuries caused by flying glass. Chase Talbot of New Orleans was injured when a piece of sheet metal flew off the Merrimac and hit him. Talbot was a public relations person watching the Merrimac voyage. He has cuts and bruises tonight. The Merrimac, meanwhile, continued its slow journey up the river, escaping with only minor damage, after meeting up with something that could generate more power than it could. From the banks of the Mississippi River, Denny Brand, Newsline 9.
Metal this morning when a tornado passed near where the Merrimac was moored. The worker was standing on the bank of the Mississippi waiting for the Merrimac to go under the old US 190 bridge. Former Vidalia, Louisiana Mayor Sidney Murray, who thought of the idea for the Merrimac, says some extra time had to be spent in Baton Rouge to get the Merrimac under the bridge.
What they had to do was to ballast the Merrimac down enough to get under the bridge here, which meant pumping water into the unit I don't know exactly how much they had to pump in, but the river stage, I think, was around 26 feet. So they would have to ballast down approximately 38 feet to get under the bridge.
The Merrimac went under the bridge in about 10 minutes without a hitch. Apparently, only minor damage was caused by this morning's high winds.
tipped it over, Brad, to line it up.
After leaving New Orleans 4 days ago, the 25,000-ton hydroelectric plant arrived in Avondale early this morning. The Merrimac came close to being in the path of a tornado that swirled across the Mississippi River on Thursday, but fortunately the vessel survived the twisters with only superficial damage. Crews in Vidalia will now complete the final stages of work to make the Merrimac operational by July 1st of next year.
Workers will begin to pump concrete into hollow chambers so the Merrimac power plant will settle onto its foundations. Water also needs to be pumped out of the channel where the Merrimac will rest, a site between the Mississippi and Atchafalaya rivers. You see here it leaving New Orleans last Tuesday. Bob Nicely, safety director at the plant, says that it may end up, maybe up to a month before the plant is anchored into place near Vidalia. The plant last week was towed up the Mississippi River from its construction site near New Orleans. When fully operational, the plant will be able to light a city of 200,000 people. Concordia Parish residents hope it will bring cheaper electricity rates and industry to their area.
Hydroelectric power plant has finished its journey up the Mississippi River to Vidalia, and now crews will work to sink the thing.
They're going to pump water out of the channel where the Merrimac will rest, between the Mississippi and the Atchafalaya rivers. And then they're going to pump concrete into the Merrimac's hollow chambers. You may have seen the Merrimac pass Baton Rouge here on Newsline 9. It has to be one of the biggest prefabricated shipments ever up Old Muddy.
When it's operational, we're told, the city of Vidalia will be powered by the Merrimac with electricity to spare. The Merrimac will actually generate enough power for a city of 200,000 people.
And look at that thing. You know, they tell us it is 12 stories high. It's riding a little low in the water there. Weighs 25,000 tons. It is the biggest prefabricated power plant ever. I have so much trouble saying prefabricated power plant.
This was a 208-mile journey upriver, and if you'll remember, right halfway or right in the middle of it was when all those tornadoes came through, and actually some of our most compelling video was taken by an engineer who was riding on an escort boat alongside the Merrimac. Where was that tornado? Just right over Port Allen over there.
Coming right out of Port Allen toward the East Baton Rouge area. No damage of significance to the Merrimac. So it's in place in Vidalia, ready to pour the concrete now, and they'll start cranking up the juice by later in the summer.
Well, and considering the crowds that it drew here just to watch it go by, I'm sure everyone in the town of Vidalia